Okay, I'm going to go over what the process of scaling a car. We do this with race cars, and we're going to scale this car. I have the before scale values for the car. We've finished our installation of the springs, which you saw, and the shocks, and now I'm going to show you how scaling should be done. The stands below are designed in a way so that once we lower the car onto these stands, we can work under the car without lifting it with a lift or everything. You could actually put this car on these stands with a floor jack. The primary part of doing the scaling, you have to make sure that you calibrate all of the scales, and that's what a lot of guys don't do. Is the best way to do that is the scales are all hooked up to a digital meter, and we're going to take a 10-pound weight. We're going to put it on the scale, and we're on the left front. It reads 10 pounds. You do that 3 times on each scale to confirm the accuracy of the scale. So we're back to that. We cleared it. Now we're going to go back in. And this confirms that all the scales are even. If there's a variation of a pound or so, it's not a big deal. So we're good to go here. Now I'm going to drop the car down, and I'm going to put into the car. I like to set the car up for race weight at the track with the driver ready to go, so that we always have the same standard. So when we hit the track from leaving here, we're good to go and we know where we started. If the car doesn't work correctly, then we can go back and see we made an error and record everything here. So I'm going to go ahead and lower the car down, set it up on the scales, and I'm going to run through the process. When we get ready to scale, you want to release the sway bars. You want to disconnect both sway bars in the car so that there isn't any preload in the vehicle. This car already has, we left one sway bar link off on purpose because I want to check the roll of the car through the springs, which you'll see later in the video how it looks and the stance that we drive it. So let me get the car ready and we'll go through the scaling process on the car. Okay? Okay, we've set the car up in the scales. We've settled the car. We've added 195 pounds of steel in the driver's seat to simulate the driver in it. That's on my good day. Lie in there, but so we've got the scale weight. I have the original weights before we did the spring job and the strut job, so we're going to go over a couple things. A couple things that you want to check on when you're scaling a car is the overall weight. This vehicle with a full tank of fuel with one driver in it weighs in at 72 pounds. Okay. Now the thing that we want to see is each individual wheel, what the weights are, and then we do a percentages of the car left to right, and then front bias to rear bias. And then the key is what we call corner weight, is left front, right rear, because road racing, most of our turns are on a right, but you can adjust these weights to compensate for different track conditions, or a track that has a massive turns that are really fast on the left, so you can do some adjustments. So this vehicle right now, as we go over it, with the spring change and a little less fuel, just a few gallons less, we lost about 30 pounds, which is not much. And our cross weight and our percentages, as we go through them, we can touch the screen and it'll give us our values. So our cross weight for this vehicle is 49.6 left front to right rear. And that means that the car is equal, and it's about, the magic number is a 50% percentage of cross weight. The other thing that's important here is a front to rear biased. So our front biased is 60% versus 40% in the rear. This is a front wheel drive, automatic transmission, DSG. It's about right for a front wheel drive car. It's about right on the money. The funny part about this car set up is about perfect for road racing weight, other than the overall weight's a little heavy. So we're going to go over and do a couple more changes here. And I'm going to check what our bias is left to right. We've got a little more on the left side, 51% versus 49.6 on the right. We're still pretty even with the driver in. It's neutral, so the car is left to right neutral, so that when it takes left and right hand turns, it responds the same. So this car is pretty much where it was when it started with the spring change. So meaning that the springs are very much equal to the percentage of weight as before, just the stiffness and control has changed. Now, if we were to try to change some of these weight configurations, we would either take weight and add it to the vehicle or move weight around, like taking the battery out of the front, move it to the back. And there's other ways with the springs is by shimming the spring up, which raised the car a little bit, would throw weight around. And that's a whole science in itself. I'm kind of blessed that my brother Richie Mann runs a modified and has 30 years experience of setups like this on open wheel, circle track, high bank. So he kind of led me through a lot of this. So we're in pretty good shape with this car. I'm happy with what happened here with the spring change. Nothing got kind of whacked out on it. But that's how a scaling is done on the vehicle, and that's why you want to do it. So when you go to the track, it's always the same, leave in the garage or you know where you are. So when you make changes here, you can compensate at the track. If you make changes and change springs to adjust it, you've already have a log of what you did. Now you can go to the track and say, okay, not handling correctly, we're going to throw that spring in the right rear. On my race car out there, it's coil over, it's easy. I have stacks of springs and we can change everything the way we want it. This is more or less to show you what will happen and how the car handles. I hope you learned from this. And this is Bob Mann at drvolks.com.